What's going on, guys? It's me, Jay Flat, with a new truck review. Now, I've had this truck actually for about 6 months. As you know, I haven't been very active on YouTube, but if you do follow my Instagram at JFlatout, you would have been in the loop, behind the scoop, early to get an alley-oop. But yeah, no, this is my 2019 Ford Raptor. It's got the 3.5 EcoBoost, obviously. You guys probably know about these already. I already have the Baja Designs fog light pocket kits from CJC Off-Road. The link's gonna be in the description for those. Other than that, it's completely stock. No tint, no nothing. It's dirty as hell because I have taken this out in the snow. Roll the snow clips. And I was actually super happy with how it performed off-road from stock. So a couple things, you guys know me like for diesels and stuff like that, and this is gonna be my first gas truck we've been building for quite some time. Now obviously we have the gas F-150 that, you know, is Nick's daily driver, but this one is gonna be my daily driver, just because I like driving through places. I like, you know, comfortable stuff, and you know, the dually's fat right now, but unfortunately it doesn't fit through the drive-through. It's not the easiest thing in the world to park, but while we're still building the dually with all the Banks and Carly suspension stuff, we're actually going to be leveling this, wheels, tires, maybe paint match. We need some tint. We got some good plans for the Raptor. But what I wanted to do is, before we start changing everything, is I want to do a good review, give you guys a day in the life with the Raptor before we change anything while it's still stock. So the #1 name of the game with the Raptor is honestly the comfort, and I'm driving the dually right now to demonstrate what it's like driving through this intersection near my house in the dually. Here we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. So now we're gonna switch back to the Raptor and go through the same intersection. All right, back in the Raptor, same intersection, different sweater. Here we go. Going a little bit faster this time. It's just so smooth. It just absorbs those bumps amazingly. You don't hear the entire truck rattling like crazy. Now, to be fair, the dually's shocks are kind of a little bit blown out. CJC is sending some new shocks for me, but that's the best way I could demonstrate the comfort of the Raptor versus like a solid front axle diesel. It's one of my favorite things about this truck. Now, I actually ended up getting the Raptor by kind of a peculiar circumstance. If you remember back earlier this year, I did the F450 video. Well, I actually bought that for my company. Things didn't work out with it the way I planned, and I had to get out of that Ford. Well, then I was in the Ford ecosystem, and I traded it for this Ford Raptor, which has been my personal truck ever since, and I have to say, I'm actually in love with it. Let's talk about cargo space. Now, the Raptor does have a very nice auto drop tailgate feature, and it did come bed lined. It has these LED lights. I have to return this to Houston, so we're gonna continue the review on the road. So the cockpit is obviously much different than the Ram, and ironically, there's a Ram Rebel cruising just in front of us, which is kind of Ram's honestly pathetic attempt to to replicate the Raptor. Now, you know, there's a couple things. Obviously, you know, I love the steering wheel. The feel of the interior is great. This is an ultra premium quality truck. The center console here did take a little bit of time to get used to, just because it is a different layout. I think there's probably too many buttons here for what it could be. They could have made this a lot cleaner and a lot simpler. The funny thing is, this also does have a trailer backup feature, which I haven't used yet, but I would be interested to see. Maybe that'll be a future video, but typical thing. I mean, like I said, ultra premium interior, so everything's a nice leather. It's got the Raptor embossed seats. It's got, you know, a 110 plug and stuff on the inside. It's got a big, deep well, and then obviously the seats fold up as so. So why did I choose a Raptor instead of another diesel? Well, it was kind of in somewhat a forced hand. You know, I do like the F-250s. I just wanted something different. I'd had a bunch of diesels. I still have obviously the Dodge 3500 diesel, and you know, I just thought it might be time to change something up a little bit. And this is a super comfortable cruiser, and that's kind of what's important to me right now. It's essentially like the Rolls-Royce of trucks, I would say. It's so comfortable to drive. It's a twin turbo EcoBoost, obviously, so it has a ton of power. It makes 450 horsepower at the crank, Ford claims, and I'm actually looking at the Addictive Desert Designs intercooler, which adds a couple more horsepower and possibly a tuner, because when I put the 37s on this truck, obviously the fuel mileage is already pretty low. I get between 10 and 12 depending on how I drive it, and the 37s aren't going to help that whatsoever. So there are some great plans for this truck in the future, so definitely do subscribe if you want to see more. But it's a it's just a comfortable ride. It does everything. It goes fast, it brakes well, it handles well. With the Raptor modes, it does well off-road. I took, like I said, you saw in the beginning of the video, the couple of snow clips, nothing crazy, just the snow clips. But now that Cody from CJC also has the two-door Raptor, I'm hopefully finally, after a couple years, we can connect and finally take both of the Raptors out on like a Barstow trip or some kind of maybe Joshua Tree or some kind of trip where we take the trucks out and really have some fun with them. So I'll be looking forward to that. But for what I wanted, you know, this was kind of made sense. It's so comfortable to drive. It can still, you know, put a little bit of cargo in the back. It can still tow a little bit. Obviously, the primary function of this truck is not to tow, because I have two trucks far more capable of towing. But just for like a daily driver, I love it, honestly. The bad things are the fuel economy. I mean, Ford says EcoBoost, but I think the only thing that's boosted is the fuel getting sucked through the fuel lines, because it is not economical whatsoever. You know, but as with anything, you're gonna sacrifice economy when you substitute power and performance. So I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't mind it personally. I drive the truck about 700 miles a month, so it's not a huge deal to me. But if you were gonna daily drive this and you had to drive any kind of distance, I would seriously think about it, because it's not a cheap truck to run, to be honest. And because the fuel economy is so bad, they put an enormous 32-gallon fuel tank in it, so it is like 150 bucks to fill it up. One other thing I've always kind of been hesitant is the exhaust note. If you listen, I'm gonna put a flyby clip in here from one of the other videos too. I'm not sold on the exhaust. I understand it's a V6 and all that great stuff, but I'm not sold on the exhaust. I don't know if I'm gonna ever change it. I'm curious to see if maybe changing the intercooler does adjust the exhaust note at all. But I'm actually, ironically, pulling up to Houston Cross's place, Royalty Exotics, and he just bought this sweet new Ram tow truck. I actually love this thing. And there's the trailer that goes with the spare wheel that I have in the back of the truck. Here, just sit in the middle. Move all the shit to that side. You sit in the middle next to Atwood. God, okay. You have to shut the door.
It's this one.
I'm filming my Raptor review right now. Look how much leg room Atwood has.
Oh my God, look how much shoulder room I have.
We'll scoot over. Coincidentally, I just found out that you bought a Raptor, Houston.
Yeah, the same one. It was white. Because yours is so nice. I was like, you know what, man? I just love this car so much.
And I happen to be filming my Raptor review today before it gets modified. So,
you want a cameo appearance? What are your opinion on the Raptor?
Not really, but I think you should take this to a dyno. Find out how much actual power it makes.
It's like 320.
Yeah, we should really dyno it.
What do you hate about it?
It has a V6.
Why'd you have to move the seat up so far?
Because I like to sit like a sports car. With the
Oh, okay.
paddles.
You
You
look
have
like-
so many paddles, you have 10 gears.
Probably because he's 5'2".
You look like an old woman driving a Toyota Sienna, to be honest.
See, just like, let's shift, and shift, and shift. We had to go through, it's like a semi-truck. We had to shift 4 times to go 30 miles an hour.
Actually, my semi-truck is 4 times to go 10 miles an hour. Long story short is I love the Raptor. I'm gonna paint and match the fenders because I think those are super ugly. The exhaust note, and also the automatic start and stop. Ford will not disable that because they're required by the EPA to leave it on, and I absolutely hate it, but it is, you can't turn it off. You just have to hit it every time that you obviously start the truck and stop it again. So that's kind of the introduction of the Raptor to the channel and kind of things that we're going to be doing with the Raptor. And if there's anything specific that you guys want, any product reviews, anything that you think that I must have, do leave that in a comment below because, you know, I want to deliver what you guys want to see. So that's just a quick introduction to the Raptor. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next video.